So what will Knack do now?
But he hate goblins, Pedro.
Do we have to climb all the way back up?
No,
No,
why
please.
don't we use our grappling?
No, we're
arm?
just gonna God of War our way. Or actually, I'll say we're going to cinematic action our way out of this.
No, not the goblin.
It's okay. He didn't kill him.
He survives this. Why did he? Oh, there you go.
Does this really need to be cinematic action? Couldn't we just do this, actually playing it?
Well, Jova, remember, they don't want you to have to do this entire section all over again.
Okay. I guess kudos to them. But actually, no, we do have to do this all over again.
True, but it's gonna be incredibly abridged this time. Get it? Chapter 6 free. Second time's the charm. Don't worry.
Destructible
The second take on this section is far more abridged. It's not gonna take nearly as long.
And hey, look at this. Just like
As
the
you can see, we're basically bursting our way through it.
That
Go ahead.
Argos guy needs to get laid.
And hey, just like in the first game at the city level, we have destructible environments. So something tells me this may not be as fun as the city level was.
I didn't even find the city level all that fun to begin with.
The
So.
city level was fun for the sake that it was one of the parts where Knack was getting to be bigger. In fact, I wonder if that was the debut of this form of Knack, or if that was a different form.
Well, actually, Joe,
Oh.
that actually would make sense because when it comes to E3 showings, the city level is the one that was usually the one being demoed.
Yeah, just
So-
like that.
Again, this game is at its best, and that's not saying much, but it's at its best when you're in the places with a lot of destructible environment, where you're wrecking through, causing havoc, taking names, and kicking butt.
Oh yeah.
Why can't we get more of that? I mean, the story is so bare
Or
bones
have
as
it
it
taste
is.
better in general.
Seriously, I mean, okay, if the story wasn't going to try so much, just to have it be nothing but kaiju battles, that could have done the job.
Yeah, it could have been like a traditional, even repurpose it as a fighting game if you want, like a standard traditional 3D arena or 2D plane, kind of like.
Case in point, the Game Boy Advance game.
Didn't Sony had a PS2? War of the Monsters, yeah, Sony had a PS2 IP that was kind of built around this.
I'm not quite sure about that, but there was definitely Godzilla Monsters Unleashed on the GameCube, and then Godzilla Destroy All Monsters on the Game Boy Advance, which were pretty much what I'm asking for. Giant kaiju fights with a bare-bones story in between. Granted, I can't recall as much about the GameCube game, but the Game Boy Advance game, we've covered that for the channel.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, the AVGN did briefly look at that GameCube version of that.
Oh, who loves those compared to the crappy Godzilla games?
Oh,
with
that's
the
that's not
NES?
saying much. The
That's not
NES,
saying much,
the
obviously.
NES games were really
God-awful.
weird. Like, why do you make a Godzilla game a chessboard RTS like game?
Because when I play a Godzilla game, I want to play chess.
The same way you make an old school Transformers game, one of which you just only drive and jump in. And
Oh, it's a you mean Convoy no
Or even
Haz?
better, Jova, make an NES Transformers game where you don't even get to play as Optimus Prime because that makes sense.
Convoy no Hazo.
That's right, Shiwa. There's a Transformers game where we can't play as Optimus Prime.
And one of the bosses is literally the Decepticons logo. I don't understand.
And not just that, Theo. They reused that boss 3 times.
Yeah, because Japan. Keep in mind, Pedro, that game, if you don't remember, got remade for mobile system in Japan.
Oh, really?
because the
recently, yeah.
Japanese really love their mobile.
And I guess that particular Transformers game.
So, Shuri, what are your thoughts
I
right
guess
now?
there's nostalgia for it in Japan, maybe?
Yeah, possibly.
Probably.
So, Shuri, thoughts on the game at the moment?
She's bored.
Don't you feel the epicness of Knack rising up from the grave or something?
The music's trying a little too
I have
hard.
never seen so much action in a game be so boring.
Again.
You have a giant hulking creature destroying shit. How do you make that boring? How?
Again, I'm gonna say this, the city level in the first game, yes, the first game had something that was more fun than this. Again, that's not...
More like, Joe, I think it was paced just a bit better than this.
Are you talking about the first game as a whole or the city level?
No, the city level in this case.
Well,
that's, I think, the reason why it's resulting to be a bit better.
And again, the city level had more stuff you could interact with. Again, it's kind of a basic rule of thumb, but interactivity in and of itself does help how much immersion a player feels in a game. Like, the more they can interact within a game, the more immersive it feels. Particularly in a game like this.
But
So...
Jova, don't you know the only way to achieve true immersion is through a
Oh,
high polygon.
Wait. I'm sorry. How did you fall with the rest of that? So let me get this straight. You were so big that your center was apparently over the railing, and it took you down. That is so stupid.
Silly Pedro for actually standing in a side-scrolling level in the position that would be optimal side-scrolling.
Silly, no, Theo. Like I've said before, silly me for expecting a 2D section to lock me into a 2D plane for the sake of avoiding problems like these.
I mean, it was kind of, it was kind of
Sonic does this. Mario does this. Every single 3D platform that has 2D sections does this.
Except Crash Bandicoot.
This is basic shit.
To be fair...
Well, okay, but Crash Bandicoot was made in the 90s. It was made
well, to be fair, they kept it like that even in the Insane Trilogy.
Actually, in the Insane Trilogy, in the Insane Trilogy, it's very selective. Sometimes they've locked it, sometimes they haven't.
Which is weird. But I digress. So, is this
Regardless
sort of a boss fight or a moot fight?
Kinda, remember, these are the big golden light guardians of the High Goblin.
Well, the thing is, regardless of how much they lock it, Jova, when it comes to the Insane Trilogy, I can at least understand why it's still like that, because they were trying to mess as little with the game as possible, I'm guessing.
Oh, I understand that too. I'm just listing it as an example. And don't get me wrong, Crash still does it way better than Knack ever could.
Oh yeah, of course. Because the levels are actually designed with that in mind. Not just that. Like I can. The Insane Trilogy is understandable. This one, it's not. It's a brand new game made in 2017. It should fill in these basic checklist boxes. Come on.
Yeah, you know that's sad. It's like, well, when something is boring but basic, it at least, fulfills a checklist. This is less than that. It can't fulfill that checklist. That's kind of a problem. So...
This is still going.
You see, Jova, the key to immersion in this game is, look, the more Knack grows, the more polygons he is made of. And the more emotional he gets as a character. Don't you know?
Considering how he can only talk when he gets bigger, that may sadly be a case. And maybe if they did interesting stuff with that. Hey, you know what? That's actually an interesting idea. Like, the more parts that Knack assimilates, the more of a character and personality he grows. You're like, well, and I don't mean that as a joke. That would actually be an interesting thing, seeing as how the human mind itself is made up of like over 1 billion components or whatnot. Like, again, there's an interesting idea there to the table.
Have I ever told you that I met Ellen Page?
No, David, you are not getting credited for that. Anyway.
Also, don't you know, Jova, remember Sony's new policy over games is that they are not supposed to be fun.
So even though this is supposed to be abridged, is it going to take us like the entire part to get up to that guy still?
I don't know, Teo. I think there's still. I think there's still plenty
actually,
of fun
no, I
to be
was
had.
referencing an interview.
Oh, okay.
Tell more later.
Wait. How can he climb that surface, yet he can't climb other ones?
Cutscenes.
Oh,
look
very
at that,
good.
it's Gundahar!
And yet it's still in question marks. I'm sorry, was there a mistake
Hey, look,
made?
it's that guy that we didn't give a shit about in the first game.
He just disappeared in the first game.
Also, guys, the game originally was hiding a safe, but now here... Oh, wait, now they reveal it.
Who do you think gave you those weapons?
Not just that, but let's just say, everybody, his disappearance from the plot in this game is even stupider, believe it or not.
Also, wait. Gundahar gave the High Goblins these weapons. The ones
Yes.
that...
Remember, he still has the tech that he got from Oh Jesus! From Dr. Vargas's wife, so that gave the High Goblins an advantage they did not have.
Remember, Joa, because of the Crystal Wars, the High Goblins were basically devoid of technology and were forced into hiding. However, Gundahar made a deal with them. Okay, you guys make me your new boss, and in result, I will give you an army that you can use.
The weird thing, though, is like, well, the High Goblin that Gundahar was arguing with argued that these machines were made by the Goblin's ancestors, though.
Well, that's the and Gundahar promptly replied that it doesn't really matter because it's Gundahar who gave it to them.
But
so.
that's the thing, though. It's like, well, why is the High Goblin suggesting that this machine was made by their ancestors when the Gundahar somehow got these? Or
Difficulty
is this
spike much?
Or is this going to actually
no,
be explained?
remember, Joe, it was explained during the various cutscene about the Crystal Wars. Basically, despite the High Goblins retreating, the remnants of the robots were scattered all around the battlefields, and now for some reason they're activating up.
True. I get that. What I mean is, like, although wouldn't it have made more? So, do they ever explain how Gundahar came across this? Because
no, if I recall, no, it's just that lucky.
So it's literally just about of him being finders keepers.
That's just the thing, Joe, but the only thing they bothered to explain in terms of filling in plot holes from the first game is the Crystal Wars lore. That's really the only thing they explained.
Not only that, but for a reveal, that was incredibly... Okay, that was incredibly cringeworthy as a reveal because, okay...
And I got the Goblin.
Okay.
Perform a certain number of grabs.
Okay, let's do a recap of that scene, folks. They show Gundahar's race, but still had his name in question marks. And yes, I get that the scene revealed that it was Gundahar, and that's why they kept it in question marks until they revealed his names. But, dudes, if you even wanted to try keeping that plot twist hidden, since you know you clearly hid his face to try and have a plot twist, why would you show his face before uttering his name? Like,
to be fair, a lot of games do that. So, I mean...
I'm sorry. Games that show the face that everyone recognized before saying the name.
Dr. Claw in the Inspector Gadget live action movie.
No. Let's talk about games too. Well, okay. For example, let me give you an example. Sometimes you'll meet a certain character in a game, and then they have the question marks as the name, like you just said. And usually, what will happen is, there we go. Usually what will happen is when they first get revealed face in terms of face on screen, the line of dialogue that they say will still have the question marks, but then the next line of dialogue right after that is when they display the name. It has to do with they don't want to have the name as well at the same time, because I'm guessing just for the sake of you being able to see who it is rather than read who it is, I'm guessing.
Okay. To be fair, some games have done some similar like that, like Danganronpa 2. Here's the thing, though. Again, okay, here's how I would have done the reveal in this way, because, again, they bothered to hide Gundahar's face, which kind of insists that they think, okay, anyone would probably recognize him because, well, really only people who played and liked the first game would be playing this. So, essentially, in that sort of mindset, the way to have done this would have been to have first had the guy say Gundahar's name and then reveal who it was. Like, again, showing Gundahar is there takes away any weight from any reveal you wanted to have. Now, granted, maybe that's not the mindset that they have, but I'm just going with common sense here, which this game could use more of.
Since Theo brought it up, I'll say this. Jova. I think someone has been watching too many Saturday morning cartoons.
Oh, yeah, true, I guess, because they have better writing than this.
Get it? We're clever, don't you know? Shiwa, please tell me I'm clever.
You know, I'm just gonna go with what
I'm not indulging this.
I'm just gonna go with what Spider-Man the Animated Series said. Mr. Robinson, this is a court of law, not a Saturday morning cartoon. I love that cartoon for how much sass
well
it
be
could
a
have.
Saturday morning cartoon.
That's eventually. It was a Saturday morning cartoon, but that was the joke, which was actually pretty good.
I mean, she was talking about this game.
Yes.
I'm sorry, no. I'm sorry, no. That's an insult to Saturday morning cartoons. See, Saturday morning cartoons actually did put in a good effort to keep the kids' attention, despite what some people will try and generalize.
This game is more. Again, this game is of course clearly trying to aim for the Jack and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank audience, the Sony PlayStation 2 era of platformers.
Yeah, that's the thing. Sony.
Those actually have charm, though.
You know, it's kind of an issue when Sony get arrogant, especially with how they're getting arrogant with their cross-platform standards, saying, oh, don't you see, by not giving you cross-platformer... apparently people devoid of cross platforms have the best experience. No, I'm not kidding. That's what their actual stance is.
Yeah, they said
the
PlayStation
PR
is the
response-
best
Yeah,
experience. but-
what they meant by that, even if I don't excuse it, but still, what they meant by that is that you're not running the risk of encountering people that you don't want that on our console than a PS4.
Oh,
The problem is, fans don't really give a shit about this kind of thing.
Not only that, but yeah, by giving you the best experience, we're gonna absolutely ban any accounts, in certain games for cross-platform stuff.
Yeah, you're actually ruining the experience there,
It's like Sony, you do good, but when you
So-
get arrogant, you
Yes,
ruin stuff,
you
like
know.
letting
You're a
Knack
God
get
of War
another
fan.
game.
Yes.
So explain this to me. What is the appeal? Because I didn't like this in Sonic Unleashed either. What is the appeal of
Well,
mashing
I
square for a lot of
can-
time just to open a door?
If you don't have the appeal, I'm not sure how can I convince you about that.
I mean, there's no challenge to it. It's not fun. It's just mashing a button.
It's symbolizing the struggle of opening the door.
I think
I
I can.
guess, but
Okay, to clarify,
No, I
Pedro.
never-
Okay, Pedro,
Go
think about it like this. You know how in Metal Gear Solid 1 there's the torture sequences where you have to mash the heck out of the buttons for something like that? That's pretty much the idea. Immersion for the sake of it.
wait. Which specific moment are you talking about?
Metal Gear
torture
Solid, the
sequence.
torture scene with the electric
Well, but that
table.
true. But at
I
the
mean-
very least, there's an actual consequence from failing that.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
even
there
here,
normally
just
is a
maybe not
consequence.
as meaningful.
Pedro.
Yes.
Rule number 1, do not take this game as the standard for what happens if you fail a quick time event.
Oh
like-
no, I'm not. It's just that.
I mean, that's the
whatever,
thing. I mean, in the
whatever,
games
moving
you're
on.
describing, Pedro, you actually do get a consequence for failing them. It's games like this
Even in the
that
opening
really-
the door segments.
Well, yeah, you don't
Wow.
open the fucking door, and a lot of times you may be tied to a chase sequence in a situation like that.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's like, well, a lot of those games don't really waste the quick time events on opening the door either.
Usually they're again, like I mentioned. Usually they are used as for disguising loading times.
Let me bring up a good example for me. Like, I like it the way Metal Gear Rising does it. When we're fighting a giant boss and we're supposed to grab the boss and throw it across the fucking arena.
Yeah, that's what
That-
God of War does as well.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. I mean, that's
Okay,
what
but-
those
but-
kind of
but
games
that's-
normally do.
That's fine by me,
The
but-
thing is, the God of War implements QTEs for everything, not just
Oh
that.
look, guys,
but
we're doing that
also-
thing from the first game.
Yeah.
See?
And Sonic
Perspective.
Unleashed, yeah. And Sonic Unleashed often saves its messing sequences for incredibly intense times too, like during the final
Well,
boss fight.
to be fair, Jova, I understand what Pedro may coming for, because in Unleashed you get the weird variant of QT, the one where the game literally gives you the counter of how many times you have smashed the button. That was weird even for QT standards.
Mainly though, what worked was that they saved them for intense moments. Like
Also
the final...
using the doorbell sound effects for after you beat them, I don't understand that either.
Yeah.
It's like, well, they saved it for intense moments, like in the final boss fight of Sonic Unleashed, where you're having
Or any
to...
boss battles in general, like...
Yeah, can I talk about
the-
something
I
about
please
these
finish?
things?
Sorry, go ahead.
Like in the final boss fight of Sonic Unleashed, where you have to deflect an entire hyper laser. Yeah, parts like that do ask for mashing. Now, games like this, though, mashing don't make sense, like Pedro said. Go on.
It's really weird. Remember how in the town levels that Jova was talking about, I could grab cars and tanks easy, willy-nilly. In here, for some reason, you might have noticed how the triangle prompt was gray at some points there, and
Yeah,
I
it
don't
means when
understand.
you cannot do it.
Yeah, but why though? Like, what exactly was wrong with my position towards the vehicle so that I couldn't grab it? I didn't get that.
It could have been a bit off rail, but whatever, I don't...
I see what Pedro... I definitely see what Pedro's going on about. I mean, it goes back to
Get
what I
it,
said.
King Kong reference.
Wow. We've
All right,
finally made
all
it
right,
back.
all right,
Wait,
Jova,
right
do you know by heart that dialogue between Optimus and
Oh, you mean the one during
Optimus
the movie?
and Megatron, where
Yes, I
something
do.
about hunger.
the
No,
one
no,
where
no.
Optimus goes like one shall stand, one shall.
one shall fall. Why throw away your life so recklessly? That's a question you should ask yourself. No! I'll bear you with my own crossed hands. There.
Yeah, that's basically what this is trying to go for, the whole Transformers thing.
Yeah, it wishes.
Again, Jova kind of mentioned it. Like the first game, city level, was more akin to the Bayformers formula and movies.
Yeah, I mean,
this
even the
year-
Bayformers games, well, mainly the first and second, when it came to PS3 and Xbox 360 version, had the general idea of destructible environment down pat.
This here
Yeah.
doesn't remind me too much of the Bayformers formula.
Okay.
I can see shades of it, but not entirely just like in the
Well, actually, I was referencing Gen 1 with this particular part, not Bayformers.
See, but yeah, let's compare this to the Bayformers game, or, you know, again, the city
Well,
level...
actually, Jova cutscene now, so...
Oh, okay.
And I got a different trophy.
Any
Marathon.
time now for that cutscene. There we
There you
go.
go. Alright, the writing here is hilarious.
Just a moment, Rothari. Catch me.
Why?
I need
So
to
he-
shove my big dick in his face.
Gundahar.
The one and
Wow, even he recognizes him just from
I
hearing
thought I
him.
took care of you a long time ago.
Actually, no, you just let him escape.
Knack.
Yeah, I agree with
Prepare to
Gundahar.
meet your doom. The last voice you ever hear will be mine.
Wow, this dialogue is so generic.
Is this
I love how
becoming a
Rothari
pantomime?
is so, you know, cocked for this moment.
Alright, boss battle.
Oh, so
Although
does
they
that to be sort of like a mono-y-mono fight between you and the mech?
It is. It's not very fun though. This part is fine enough. You're just dodging the things he throws and beating the crap out of him. It's. I kind of wish we had more space to maneuver, but I guess it.
We're stuck in a corridor.
Yeah.
Maybe
It's like Gwendolyn in the first Dark Souls game. Jesus.
Yeah, but Dark Souls is actually fun.
Well,
Anyway,
not the fight with Gwendolyn, I can tell you that.
I don't know. I didn't mind it too much, but whatever. Moving
I
on.
guess I'm not really into magic builds, so yeah.
Anyway, yeah, basically just dodges shit. Oh, no, the physics of that throw made no sense. I'm sorry.
So, is there like an easy ducking dodge?
You see, Shiroi, gravity does not exist whenever we throw.
That's remember Pedro, remember Jova, when an enemy is close to you with the attack, the game slows down for a second and gives you the opportunity to dodge.
Alright, next phase.
So what does Rothari do now?
Throw barrels down at us?
Not so bad.
Oh great, now we're doing toxic.
toxic.
Also toxic waste, much.
Yeah.
Well, he's not even using barrels, he's just throwing bombs at you.
So, okay, so just go after him when he's not throwing them, I guess.
Basically, yeah.
First he was, you know,
Where does he
removing
even
the
get those from?
his ass.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Reload,
he
reload.
did!
Look, Joe, he gets them from the same place that the Sonic characters get the
Okay.
Chaos Emeralds from.
So basically, he's an idiot. Doesn't... he basically stopped
What is
throwing
this?
them.
A
Just to
hero
try-
in a... Sorry. A character in a Knack game that's an idiot? Surely you just killed.
Boss stupidity. I mean, okay,
That
boss...
ugly robot don't scare me none.
See, boss stupidity comes in different layers. This is one of those variants where it's a really stupid bout of pause. Like, okay, he can pretty much throw as many of those as he wants. Yet, the only reason you get an opening is because he stops to taunt you. I mean,
To be fair, it's typical boss design in these kinds of games.
I know that it's typical, but that doesn't excuse it. Like, well, again,
Yeah.
okay, look, if you want to have a part where the boss taunts you, have it be to a point that makes sense. Like, maybe, you know, he doesn't see where you are, or maybe he thinks you're down or something. Then that would make sense for a taunting motion. But with the way the boss
Alright, now it's a
already
combination
is,
of the
makes
two.
no sense.
Alright, this particular part is a combination of the two. He's still throwing pillars at you, but he's also can throw the bomb thingies. He also throws rocks. There you go.
Yeah, I mean,
Who
the
did
pillars
we
and
don't
rocks
know?
are so slow-moving. Oh wait, that's right, but Knack's slow too.
They don't even look like rocks, more like pieces of chunks of metal.
Pay no mind to the rush development nature of this game.
There you go. What Josh is supposed to do is take down the pillars so that he can fall.
Of
There
course.
you
And then that knocks him out. Okay, see now that's
Beat
about
the
a,
shit out of him.
see now that's about a pause that makes sense in a boss fight why he's open to attack.
And of course he has a shockwave, even though I don't.
Really? Doesn't
You
your
did
bell-
that in the first game, but we
Yeah.
removed it for some reason.
Yeah. No.
Oh, he didn't do a suplex.
I love how the game. I love how the game used the icon of the analog stick to tell me. Yeah, there you
Oh
go.
snap! That move actually looks cool.
There you go. And we're almost
And
done.
yes, I'm talking about the move that the boss did.
Yeah, the shot. Again, the enemy gets the cool toys. Right, finish him.
High goblins. Really? We really went with that line. The high goblins will rise.
Oh,
again.
what an anticlimactic.
Let me guess. The High Goblins are going to be defeated. Gundahar's probably going to be the final boss. Well, the final Goblin boss again.
I
Even though
guess I'm
he's
coming
not.
for you next.
Even though he's not a High Goblin.
Yep, there you go.
Coming for you.
It was predictable.
So does that mean we're done?
That's the problem, too. It is
Is Rothari out of commission now, or he's not gonna show up?
regardless of whether he's out of commission, Tail, at this point he's swiftly out of the plot. He's
Wait,
not-
he
Oh
was
wait, we
just
found
there?
him.
as far as Mark Cerny is concerned, he doesn't exist anymore.
I thought he was broadcasting from a different location.
Guess he was
But
really
no.
that stupid.
Murder and mayhem.
Well, as it turns out,
Knack,
Control Center
Squash him,
only needed a little
squash him?
work before the
No?
ancient
Is it really
weapons
too much
could
to
be
ask?
I guess he wants him to rant about his plans.
Gundahar, you're under arrest. Everything you say will be used against you in court.
That or a lie, you will come with
What's
me.
your game, Gundahar?
How about this, Knack? Capture him first, then
questions later.
ask questions later. How about that?
Usually the only reason
It was if I told you it was spoiled the surprise.
For once, I agree with you. This
No,
ends
Mac, you
now.
shouldn't agree. Oh, there you go.
You see, this is literally the
Oh.
screen.
There you go. He was broadcasting from a different.
This is literally Mark, the screenwriter, turning to you and saying, "I can't explain things yet because I want to keep you in suspense. So
Okay,
please wait."
okay. Gundahar and none of the goblins actually being
find me at
there.
the Control Center.
That was
Wherever
actually
that
smart on Gundahar's part. That's good. We finally have a villain who's not a complete brainless dolt.
Where is he?
Oh, hi, Lucas.
That
Nice to
is
see you're still in the game.
the question.
Yeah, we three have done so much.
So
with
is
this.
Gundahar gonna be the best
Gundahar
villain
is
in
at
this
the control
game?
center?
No.
Oh, yay, Laura
Yeah.
Bailey.
And he said we don't want him to have this thing.
He's not a high goblin. I'm sure we can defeat him.
Stop showing the close-up.
You know,
have no idea
I
what
just want
this
to mention
ruthless
this. So the
creature is
High
capable
Goblins
of.
were apparently
If he's already
differentiated by
armed
the
himself
regular
with
goblins
ancient
because the
weapons,
High Goblins
imagine if you
had
got a hold of the
technology and know-how.
How bad
And
are
yet,
these guys?
despite that, it's the
You know
regular
the
goblins
robots
that
you've been
provide the
fighting?
High Goblins with the
Yeah.
technology and know-how
They're
in
like
this
that,
game.
Except
So you establish the High Goblins only to
sure
have
Mac
their
can handle
own origin and
mention
specialty
they were
get subverted by the
huger?
goblins that
Maybe we
aren't
should go
supposed to
take a
know
look.
all about
We should
technology and
secure any
whatnot.
inactive weapons.
Theo,
before
is there a
Gundahar
term for
reaches
how
them.
back-ass
Say no
backwards
more.
this writing is?
You want Titans?
Retarded?
Exactly where
No,
they
no,
are.
no,
Retroactive
no.
continuity. I
It's
don't
be-
know.
Stupid.
It's beyond even just that, Pedro.
Lucas, while you're out with Ryder, isn't it about time you let an expert look at that artifact?
No.
No.
Stop doing this.
If you please.
Take your meds, Grandpa.
That's just the thing, Teo. As you yourself know, this is the game's way of doing foreshadowing for that thing that you know.
Not just that.
Oh.
Take this
Vargas,
serious.
Oh, wait. Oh my god, he's about to call
You know
about.
what? You're right. I should absolutely take this more seriously.
When has Lucas not been taking this
Wow.
serious? I don't understand where this plot thread is even coming from.
I think you're just
Okay, Lucas, I know that the doctor's a jerk, but maybe
go.
not give it to Xander, the only person who's kind of more of a jerk than him.
Here's an idea. Still keep it to yourself.
You know? And you know what's sad is I go, okay,
Here it
the
is.
line that makes him do this
Marius
is that
defeated
Vargas
the High
says, oh,
Goblins
I'm
and
glad that
ended
you're
the
finally going to
Crystal
take this seriously. Like, okay, Lucas, I get that he's
there
being a jerk, but
are the
hasn't he kind of always been that kind of jerk to
kidding,
you,
Ryder.
even though you've never shown any
Yeah,
signs of
he
being
made
annoyed
all that
before?
fuss in the first game where you were about to get
Let's
the
keep it
key.
that way.
Now,
Oh.
My
now
thoughts
maybe if Lucas had
exactly.
shown signs of getting annoyed with
Hell,
him before,
let's
I'd
roll
buy
the
this.
floor
But
beside
no,
you. Let's
Lucas
spread
is
out the
taking this
security
Are these two?
overall just fine. for the
They're
most
just
part.
generic monks, Teo. Don't mind them. They're not important.
Also, let me guess.
And he had better facial animations when we ever cared.
So either the goblins
Chapter
are going.
7-1, The Buried Battlefield.
Welcome to the
Which we'll see, I guess, in
excavation
the next part.
How
Yes.
lovely.
See you in the
Oh.
next part, everybody.
See you then.
See ya.